Hello and good morning, and welcome to December 14th Daily Spiritual Practice, a moment of contemplation and inspiration, sourced by the book 365 Science of Mind, a Year of Daily Wisdom by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And we have been going for a year, and some of you have been on the journey for the whole year. And I thank you for that. December 14th reading, again, part of a lovely series in the book that calls upon different faith traditions to illustrate universal spiritual principles. Today, there is at the beginning of the reading two examples of the divine being given voice in human form, given expression in human form, as an illustration. So they're lovely. The first is from John, saying, "All things were made by him. Without him was not anything made that was not made." Now we can take him and to make it more inclusive, we can say the living spirit. All things were made by the living spirit. And without the living spirit was not anything made that was made. The second quote is from the Bhagavad Gita, and it says, "In the voice of the divine," which in this case is the Lord Krishna, saying, "There is not whatsoever higher than I. All this," meaning all of creation, "is threaded on me, just as rows of pearls are threaded on a string." It's a very famous quote from the Bhagavad Gita, and in more contemporary renditions of the Bhagavad Gita, it's stated slightly differently, but very beautifully. The idea that the divine is the thread that holds all of creation together is very well known from that particular scripture. Here's what Dr. Holmes says: "All things are threaded on the divine, like rows of pearls on a string." Spiritual intuition tells us that beauty is at the root of everything. Ugliness is its suppositional opposite. We suppose that ugliness is the opposite of beauty. We must sense not the opposite of reality, but the reality of reality, which includes everything and makes all things what it is. So then there is no degrees of beauty ranging from ugly to beauty. There is just the wholeness of the beauty of creation. He writes, "It is this divine presence that we are to recognize. And for every apparent opposite, we are to supply or to generate in ourselves the awareness," he calls it the realization of the truth, that everything is part of one. In this way, we supply to ourselves a spiritual sense that goes beyond whatever we are looking at, goes beyond whatever form has been created. We look at life, the world, through, as we heard several days ago, through spiritual eyes. That's how we have to look. And in that way, everything that the world calls ugly, or the world calls unfortunate, or devil, or evil, we don't deny that it's there, but we step into a spiritual view to embrace all that is. And through our spiritual looking, we find the courage and the strength and the wisdom to lean into life, not rejecting, but doing what is ours to do, to integrate, change, evolve, lift up, make better. That is why Dr. Holmes says Jesus tells us not to judge by appearances, but to judge righteously, which again is the same as the Bhagavad Gita. You cannot look with ordinary eyes, but must look with spiritual intuition. Dr. Holmes says, and we will always judge righteously when our knowledge is based upon the certainty of the divine presence that is at the center of everything. It doesn't reject anything, it embraces everything. And that's what our practice has been all these many days. To keep on coming back to center, to keep on inviting our consciousness to get on the right tracks. Because certainly when we go out into the world, we will experience that which is difficult, that which is ugly, that which is harmful, and we will see it, and that which is unjust and unfair. And so we are to move into it not with fear, but with courage, that there is something within us that can see through it and do what is ours to do to improve it, to change it, to know the truth about it, to do something different related to it, not to deny that it's there. So these words of affirmation at the end of the reading, they're personal. We take it in. Because even though we're going to affirm perfection, we understand the world is how the world is. We've heard that over and over in the scriptures this month. Today I recognize that I am a perfect being. That's my starting point. I understand I've got lots to improve on and I want to grow and evolve. But today I'm focusing my attention that at the center of my being, there is a perfection that I did not create. Innate. And I'm living under the perfect conditions to draw upon that perfection and to express it. And I know that at the center of all creation, let me call it goodness today, not as the opposite of badness, but as an absolute state of all inclusivity. And I'm going to accept that that is real. And from that wholeness state, I know what to do. I know how to act. I know what to say. I know what to think. I am putting myself in the position to, as best as I'm humanly able, to see and think and speak from the spiritual viewpoint of the living spirit in me. I'm going to go before, walk before the awareness of God is all is in all, and be that perfection in the world today. And then tomorrow I'll try again and do it again and again. Have a blessed day, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.